Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Fully Managed. Thank you, Andy, for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Shannon. This should be fun.
Thank you. It will be fun because we're starting with a game. So this game is called Search It or Scrap It. So, Mr. CEO expert, as you are, CEO, SEO expert, as you are, I want to test that. So I'm going to go through a list of different scenarios in which you think that we should search it, which means it's a tactic worth exploring and it's still relevant, or
Okay.
scrap it, it's outdated, ineffective, or misguided. Does that sound fun?
Sounds great.
Alrighty. Okay, so first one is publishing a blog post every day to boost domain authority.
Scrap it.
Alrighty, why?
Publishing blog posts does not improve your domain authority. That's
We've
when
seen
you're.
that with the HubSpot decline.
Yeah, I mean, domain authority is a function of link popularity, which is about doing good PR, publishing things that are interesting and worthy of being referenced by others, and having relationships with editors and bloggers and journalists. Publishing daily is not necessarily any of those things. If you told me, publish an article twice a month on an association or trade magazine's website or with a partner, I would have said, yes, that definitely will improve your domain authority. It obviously would. It improves link popularity. But no, just publishing and frequency themselves do not change domain authority whatsoever.
I think that's extremely sound advice. I appreciate it because I'm sure there's many people that still believe that is the case. So next
Good one
one.
to call out. I'm ready. Number 2.
Sorry. Okay. Embedding YouTube videos in blog posts to increase time on the page.
Search it. Keep that. That definitely works. You can prove it yourself by creating an exploration in Google Analytics that tracks the average time on page for people that did and did not watch the video. And you'll see that pages that have videos, when those videos get watched, it directly is impacting engagement time. Not directly impacting search rankings unless you believe that user interaction signals such as long dwell time are have part of a search ranking factor. But no, I'm a big fan, highly recommend it, and I do it whenever possible.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Next one, we have stuffing long tail keywords into meta descriptions.
Scrap it. If you said into title tags or into headers or into body text, maybe yes. But meta descriptions, I don't think there's any evidence of meta descriptions having any correlation with search rankings. Do them. They might affect click-through rates, not rankings, but click-through rates, because meta descriptions frequently become part of the search snippet. Every description underneath every link in Google is either an excerpt from the page or the meta description. So it's not really, don't have high expectations. Do it well. Keyword focused, 155 character meta descriptions, but don't expect them to affect rankings. I wouldn't.
No, I really appreciate this because I think that there's so much, what's the word I'm looking for?
Superstition?
Yeah, superstition in SEO. Thank you. That's the perfect word for it. Because I talk to so many people that do SEO, and I hear a lot of these things that you're, proving to be incorrect.
I mean, if anyone has evidence to the contrary, please, Andy@orbitmedia.com. Send it along. I love to see a correlation study on that one. Yeah.
No, I think that's incredible though, because I mean, outside of everyone has their own strategies of doing things or whatever it may be, but you have a direct rebuttal for everything that you have evidence for everything that you provide, which is not always the case. It's very cool. So
I try to.
I'm appreciative of that.
That's the idea.
Alrighty, and then using AI generated content without editing.
I would scrap that, but not for SEO reasons. I think that lazy prompting tends to produce low quality, undifferentiated, off-target content. If you first train AI carefully on the information needs of your audience, and then train AI deliberately on your writing standards and styles and voice and tone, then you may get back magically, hopefully, a piece that doesn't need editing. Kind of unlikely. Nothing here has any implications for SEO. This isn't really a SEO or search or social or strategy whatsoever. But no, I don't think that's a good idea because even a light round of edits on anything generated by anyone or any tool can benefit it a lot. I have my own research on that. Bloggers that use editors are more likely to report success than bloggers who don't. So editing is important.
Yeah, I think especially with AI and where it is now, I think that obviously it provides a level of training in which you addressed, but I think that even with that, it's not going to be what you want it to be before editing. And if you're wanting to pump things out, and as you discussed earlier, maybe that's not the best move to do anyway. So I think that's the only reason why you would put out something that's not edited anyway. And if that's not something that's effective for SEO, then it makes no sense to even.
Yeah. I'll make it an even stronger point. The most successful content is highly visual, with something of interest at every scroll depth, is highly collaborative, with contributor quotes from experts, influencers, subject matter pros. It's highly structured with lots of bullets, short paragraphs, subheaders. It's highly connected. It has internal links to and from other pieces of content. It's filled with points of view, anecdotes, tiny stories, opinion statements. AI is good for none of those things.
Yep. Especially points of views. I think that people are specifically looking for something that's human, regardless of whether they know it's used by AI or not. And I think that what people want is AI to be more human, and that's what we're getting towards, or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
But it's not in any way close to that now. And I don't think people should be over reliant on it, especially for writing content.
Yeah. I love it for analysis. I love it for strategy. I love it for ideation. But take a look at any of the articles on orbitmedia.com and tell me, could AI have done that? I challenge you to pick one that you think AI could have possibly written.
I'm gonna go through them after this because I want to challenge that.
Sure.
What is it?
Please.
All right, last one.
Okay.
Interviewing influencers purely for backlinks.
I'd scrap that, because if your hope is to be cited by other websites, that's not really that's not really a strategy for that. Interviewing influencers, I could say to keep it if your plan was to get better social engagement, because collaborative content tends to work well on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Collaborating with an influencer tends to get, that content doesn't mostly get shared by them, which can improve social reach. But for backlinks, if the influencer was an editor of a popular website, and if during the interview you mentioned something that they thought was wildly supportive of things they're saying over on their site, then yes. But that's not really what you were, neither of those things are that likely to be true. Link attraction and link building are very specific approaches that have, for which there might be an application of an interview piece, but not necessarily. So no, I don't think that. I mean, if I were making a list of like 10 things I could do to grow my domain authority and build links, that would not really be a complete strategy whatsoever. Definitely not.
Yeah, I would definitely tend to agree. I think that influencers being involved in that approach in some way is helpful, but not in a specific way to get backlinks. There is,
Yeah.
If they're related to your business or your product or service or whatever it may be, and they can provide like a quote or something like that, like how you said for like an article, that would make more sense. But to just provide links is probably not the most effective approach.
But what we're doing now, anything that's collaborative at all, I mean, I never wrote an article without contributor quotes from experts, ever. I love doing roundups and having multiple points of view in my content. I love being part of conversations like this one. So collaborate always, but do it to improve the quality of your content. Do it to improve the social reach of your content. Do it to grow your personal network, but don't expect it to improve your domain authority by itself.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, I think that I think there's a lot of expectations that people have when they create content, and if you don't work hard to have every element be curated, then obviously you're not going to get the outcome that you're looking for.
Right.
And using one avenue rather than addressing all of these different things, like influencers, for example, would not be the wise choice.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I would really like to ask you, because I hear this a lot nowadays, I've even heard it from my boss. that SEO is dead, so to speak. A lot of people say that, and I think that I don't know if he said it. Don't quote me on him saying it, but something that I'm curious about is why you think people are saying this. What your opinion on that is, because I'm sure that you don't agree, seeing as all of your opinions on what we've already talked about, and yeah, like what you think the misconceptions are with people saying this.
Well, I get the headline template, blank is dead. I know that I've probably written a few of those myself. They work for all kinds of things, and the click-through rates are pretty high.
Yeah, people love to start
it's like
anything
provocative.
that is something. They're
dramatic. It's like a strong word, dead, big word. Okay. Is there evidence of this? Google search traffic is up, which is weird to me. I would have predicted it would be down. Google ad revenue is up. Strange to me. Like you'd think that Google people, what is disrupting search? There's actually two statements there. One is search is dead because Google is becoming less relevant because more people get answers using AI chatbots. That's one. There's a point of view there. There's not data for it yet. I just finished doing a study I had 1,000 people take a survey to say, like, when do you use AI instead of search engines to get answers? Very interesting. There are certain use cases for which people really are slowly moving toward AI. Very, very interesting. To say SEO is dead is slightly different because you're saying that there is, even though Google may be growing in relevance and popularity, that the opportunities to get traffic from search has gone down. There's a strong argument for that. Click-through rates for search have been declining for decades, at least 15 years. I collect screenshots of Google search results pages for various key phrases. I have 10 years of screenshots of search results pages, and you can see over time how they change. It's not obvious, but there's phrases that you searched for 10 years ago that were like 10 blue links. And today, it's an AI overview and a people also ask box and a video carousel and a map and a knowledge panel on the side and a featured snippet and wow, Google's slowly, it's not obvious unless you're paying attention, putting way more SERP features, search engine results page features, into search results. So organic click-through rates keep declining. AI overviews is just one more step in that. It's like click-through rates have gone down because of AI overviews. Not weird. But anytime anybody says anything about what something works or doesn't, you have to, if you're the real digital marketer goes deeper into the data. Click-through rates for which kinds of key phrases are down. It turns out if you look at any data set, including your own analytics, search traffic to blog posts might be down, but search traffic to the service pages, the money pages, optimized for the commercial intent key phrases, is not down in my data sets. You can see people who are searching still do sometimes have visit website intent, right? It's like, graphic design resources or, freelancers for web development or whatever. People who search for that don't want an AI overview or people also ask box or a featured snippet. They want to visit a website.
Yeah.
So the question is,
for something.
They're doing research. That's right. They're researching an important decision. So for lots of commercial intent B2B key phrases, click-through rates are still strong. In fact, I don't really see them changing much. Even if Google puts a bunch of stuff there, just go check Search Console. See for yourself. So search is not dead. There's no evidence of that. And SEO is not dead, although the opportunities to get traffic from information intent key phrases to content marketing pieces has definitely declined. And Google's sending less traffic to websites in general. But those research-related big consideration decisions, they want to see who you are, what you believe, how many people work there, why did you get started? Can you help someone like me? So SEOs maybe haven't thought about it much till more recently, but I would suggest SEOs to keep in mind. Look at any key phrase, ask yourself, does that key phrase have visit website intent? Those are the ones to target.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think that having like the whole SEO is dead phrase, I think came about because of AI. I would theorize, at least, because I feel like when AI was getting more popular in search engine, I think that was when I was hearing it the most. And I think that it's just fear where it comes about, where people are worried that like my current method is obsolete, which I think is possible. I think that maybe the way in which you interact with the search engine may change because of this,
For
but I
sure.
don't think that necessarily means that it's dead. Maybe your approach is dead. Maybe the way in which you were doing it before is dead, but the actual idea of it is not, especially for services where someone has a purpose for going to the search engine that isn't informational or necessarily for, like, if they have an intent to purchase something or they have an intent to look to purchase something, the AI is not going to determine that. They might give you a list, they might provide some kind of summary, but most people aren't making decisions where money is involved very quickly based off of like an AI overview.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things you're not going to like add to cart. They're not transactional decisions. They're more of a consultative decision make, right? Like, so I pulled up real-time analytics. I'm looking at my own site's data. There's 40 visitors on my site right now. About a third of them came from search. Is search dead? I don't think not for them. Don't tell them that. They just click through from the search engine.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so curious too, because you mentioned earlier I don't know if you're allowed to share this because I don't know if it's like a study that's coming out later. The AI, what people use AI tools for and what they use, or AI search for and what they use Google search for. What are some things that surprised you about that? Because I think that's so interesting.
It's very interesting. This is new data, and we can link to it. It'll be, I'll make sure to share this, and we can find a way to make sure the listeners contact me, Andy Media, or find me on LinkedIn if you want to ask me about this later. But here's the data, a preview of it. For quick answers, search engines are still dominant. 77% would use Google, only 23% use a chatbot. On the other end of the spectrum, for step-by-step instructions, chatbots are actually only 60% of people are using Google, and 40% of these 1,000 respondents are using an AI to get step-by-step instructions. So what you're seeing is the shorter the answer, the more likely people are to just use Google because the answer will appear there at the top. The longer the answer for the more research-based decisions, the more likely the person is to use an AI chatbot. And maybe, if think about the use cases, if you want something that, like, there's like a multi-parameter decision, Will Reynolds gave this example in a session. It's like, I want an SUV under $60,000 that gets this kind of mileage and has a third row, and it has a in this color interior. You can't really search for that in Google. There's too many parameters. Yeah. Or for other things where it's just like a low recall question, it's like, what was the name of that actor who was in both this movie and that movie? I can't think. He had blonde hair. ChatGPT is perfect for both of those use cases. Google is terrible for both of those use cases, right? You can't say, Google, what was the name of that actor? Who is it? Like, it's not conversational.
Yeah, they don't know how to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah. When do we query? When do we prompt? When do we want to have a conversation, and when do we just want to look something up? Google is information retrieval. It's going to feed back information that it found. AI is actually a generative answer, right? It can create a new answer, and after you prompt, you can take the next step in the process. Now, whatever it is you're doing, you can actually continue to do it or have it start to work on the thing. If you were doing research, like, okay, now make me look up those 4 options and make me a guide that shows the pros and cons of this versus that minivan. Or anyway, so there are user behaviors are changing. I don't think Google's going to ever go away. They're just such a powerful player. They have such massive market share, and they've adapted to AI pretty well. Human behavior change is pretty slow, but certainly there's tons of use cases where AI is a fantastic way to get an answer. It's sort of like writing like a custom. And this is why bloggers need to avoid focusing on some of these like best practices articles that we all used to write, that I've written hundreds of. Because if your audience wants best practices, they can kind of just get that generated for them. Now is the time to focus on the really differentiated formats for content, like strong opinion and thought leadership, or original research and new data, new statistics, collaborations with influencers and stuff like we're doing now, like just like hang out, talk, record, interact, offline formats like events, or just online communities. Build a community and you're secure from changes in AI and Google. Or what I do, publishing directly to a platform. I ever since click-through rates for Google went down so much and all the bloggers are losing their traffic from search, I'm actually more visible than I ever was because I launched a LinkedIn newsletter. Publish on the platform. Like I'm almost like partnering with LinkedIn to get this content out there. Google doesn't want to send SEOs traffic, but LinkedIn wants subscribers to visit their LinkedIn newsletters. So it's a question of, should we build on rented land? What is the upside for that? What's the difference between being a partner with big tech or being sort of in tension with big tech? Interesting times, Shannon. Very interesting times.
No, it's really cool because this does go back to the SEO is dead thing of the fact that you'd exclusively mention parts that people were utilizing before, that bloggers were, that do not work anymore with what is changing in search engines. But what is crazy about what you're saying and makes me feel like cattle a little bit is the idea that I use these search engines for the exact same thing that you said based off of this study, is the idea that it makes sense because something that is giving you a not just a direct answer, but a fuller, comprehensive list of something, or thinking for you, so to speak. It makes sense to use AI for it, and there's so many complex questions that we've always wanted to ask Google that are ineffective and usually don't yield the results that we're looking for. I'm thinking ChatGPT, even though like older generations may not use it as much as younger generations, it would be the best for them because I can't imagine the amount of times that my parents have looked up who's this guy from that movie that is also from the exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And
Low recall. Yeah.
that would be perfect for ChatGPT. There are so many ways in which we converse with each other to figure something out, in which you can now do with this service, whereas Google was never able to yield the results in the way that you're looking things up in the search box.
Exactly right. Sometimes we want, and it's, if there's a comparison, it's like 5 years ago, sometimes you went straight to Wikipedia for a thing, and sometimes you go to Google for a thing. It's a bit like that. There's like a switch in your mind where you're like, do I want to look something up and have information retrieved? Or do I want to have a little conversation about, what's this weird thing I'm looking for? Or what are my options? Or, I'm considering this versus that, two wildly different things. Like, what are the pros and cons of this decision I'm making? Google doesn't really do that. When you're retrieving information, it doesn't do that. So Google will catch up. They're doing a fine job now. The AI overview, though SEOs hate it, is mostly doing that job. So the difference is if you do the same thing in an app like ChatGPT, you're not tracked. It's private. They're not setting you ads, at least not yet. It's cleaner. It's faster. There's lighter weight. Sure, there's maybe, I'm kind of a tree hugger, but the environmental impact of prompts may be higher than the Google query. But if you click through to a website and you see like a million ads and you download a ton of JavaScript and there's a million CSS files and the video overplays and I think it's probably lower energy use to just get simple answers in ChatGPT than to click through to a website and get like, you need to move all these, overlays and pop-up windows off your screen and scroll past that video it's playing. The mobile experience for the web is pretty terrible today. And the experience for ChatGPT getting answers from an app is actually quite lovely.
It's funny. Did you read the recent article that came out about saying thank you to ChatGPT and like the implications around? I'll find it and send it to you after this. But I think this is very funny. Of the idea that just saying thank you is wasting energy and people should stop saying thank you to ChatGPT because it's not like, but people that I guess have normal manners or are fear that robots will take over the world one day and that AI is going to, like, people that have that mentality are saying thank you because they're like, maybe they won't go after me.
I don't say thank you to AI. I don't say thank you to my car, and I don't say thank you to this mouse. Why say thank you to the AI? There is a reason. Some AI pros believe that if you say please with your prompt, that it puts you into sort of a corner of AI's probability matrix that increases the likelihood of a good response. I haven't seen the data.
I would love to see that. If there is data behind that, that's so interesting.
they all talk about, I've heard that mentioned in a lot of conferences and articles and sessions and podcasts, but really, could someone, again, like, please send that to me? I test it myself, and it's basically the same answer with and without please. Thank you. What's the point? I mean, yeah, there might be a risk, in us thinking AI is our friend. Like, it's not your friend. You don't need to be polite.
I think it's about the idea that you're having a conversation with something, or it feels as if you're having a conversation with something. So if you're normally polite in the way in which you interact, then it might just be common sense to you, almost like you feel rude not doing it. Because I noticed that I was doing it, and then I read this article and I was like, oh, I should stop thinking AI, because it's probably, it's already using so much energy in order to work. So maybe I should not be wasting it to say thank you. But I didn't even process that before reading this, because I was just doing, this is how I normally converse, and I'm having a conversation with this thing in a way. So I think, oh, okay, I should say thank you, and it helps me, which is so funny because you don't thank Google.
No, it's like, and that's a testament to how good it is that social norms don't apply here, people. It has no thoughts or feelings. It is a probability matrix for the next token of language in a sequence. It is
You're
math.
gonna be the one that AI gets when it becomes sentient.
Fine. I'll be the first to go. Take it. You win. Yeah, that's like I've met people talking about AI at conferences. I met like a transhumanist, like literally looking forward to the next stage of human evolution where we have like built-in parts, and there's like an AI is like AGI. Have you heard this? It's like the moment at which AI becomes sentient or has a consciousness.
People are very fearful of. I've seen a very good show on that, but
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily.
I like Black Mirror too, but I'm not being polite to my computer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if it's unnecessary. I mean, that article really was eye-opening to me. I was like, oh, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. There
For
are
an energy reason.
Yeah, there's actually.
And while we're ranting, just briefly, Shannon, indulge me. People who, like the marketers who are like, oh, AI uses power. Hold on a minute. That prompt uses 1,000th of the power that your last 1 hour on Netflix used.
Yes, exactly.
Why aren't marketers outraged about streaming video? Oh, because they don't feel threatened by it.
That's
right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you next time you binge watch a show, keep in mind you are using way more energy than a typical prompt. Although I think it's been explained to me, like some of these deep research prompts and these image generation or video generation prompts actually are pretty intense. And there's a good reason why big tech is buying nuclear power plants. Like they're actually buying, it's like energy is a big, we need the transition here, people. This is not, I'll be happier and life will be better when this world is sustainable.
Yes, I definitely agree. So you actually are a big advocate for ethical digital marketing. So on this same vice, what are your ethical concerns for AI outside of maybe being green, so to speak, for it? Because we all kind of know, I think, the energy concern.
Well, there is, we're moving toward a future where AI is one of our visitors. So an AI agent can be told to go do things like research 5 companies. So we do web development. Orbit Media Studios does B2B lead generation websites. A potential prospect says, I want a B2B lead generation website. Go find me 5 companies that do B2B lead gen websites. I want them to be certified B Corps. I want them to be experienced in manufacturing sites. I want them to know how to do integration. So this agent starts crawling around the internet and making for them a buyer's guide. Cool. Does that agent, when they land on my site, have any privacy rights? No, I don't think so. Do I need to show cookie consent to them? What are the implications for having non-human visitors to our websites? Not just a bot, but an agent who's crawling around. Does mobile friendliness matter? What about accessibility? Maybe that's what we're talking about. AI accessibility. So when you stop and think through all the website requirements, mobile friendliness, search rankings, page speed, privacy considerations, accessibility, conversion optimization. There's integration with other systems, measurement through analytics. Which of these things are impacted by the AI visitor? Well, you can't track them in analytics. You don't need to worry about privacy laws. They do use search engines, so search engines become more important. So if you think through the implications of the internet having a large number of non-human visitors in the future, and then think through what is the purpose of a website? Will websites continue to be a user experience? Certainly so. I just told you there's 40 visitors on my site at the moment. Or does the importance of websites as feeds into other systems become important for the agentic AI visitor, or for to train ChatGPT or Perplexity or whoever to recommend our brands? How do you get AI to recommend your brand in the future? What are the forms of web spam that cross the line that become no-go for AI training data? How to have a big digital footprint, not unlike domain authority, but what are the tools and reports that we'll use to measure the visibility of our brands in AI? If that becomes a new channel for discovery separate from SEO. SEMrush is a really good one right now. It's actually interesting to see how they do this AI analytics thing. It doesn't just show you the likelihood that your brand will get mentioned, but it shows you the sentiment for your brand in AI. It actually talks to the AI and reports back AI thinks you're this and not that, or AI thinks you're good for this and not good for that. So
That's extremely helpful.
Yep, it's changing. A lot of these things are changing. So some of them have ethical implications, bias, accuracy, labor market impact, energy usage. It's such a broad conversation that it's really hard to even narrow it down. I'm in a single conversation where in the same breath, someone says they had AI write a poem, and the next person says, there's Microsoft bought a nuclear power plant. It's what? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
No, I think that's a really cool, it's a very interesting glimpse into a new problem, because I also have conversations around AI a lot, and I hear a new problem every time where I'm like, oh, that wasn't on my radar, and now it is. But it's interesting, the development of, I didn't even think of the side of website building in the idea that it is meant for user experience now, but it might change in the future. That is just a new world as well.
Yeah, imagine a web page that works perfectly for the AI visitor.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very simple UX, and it has a very large amount of content. So if that's effective, then maybe we should each have a page on our website that's simply there for AI training.
Mm-hmm.
And that page is a stripped down version of just this massive bullet point, keyword focused, just exquisite detail about everything you can do for every industry with every angle on every service you offer. Anthropic just created a new standard for, similar to the robots.txt file, which is good for SEO, which is important SEO thing, the LLM.txt file, which will become something that we all stick on our websites as a way to try to communicate with an agent, with the AI bot. So this is a moment where we need to think differently about how we get discovered, about how we explain what we do, both prioritizing our websites as AI training data and creating unique, remarkable experiences online and off for our target audiences. So we have to be both better for AI agents and better for humans and differentiation and memorability. Build a brand and train the bots.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be a very interesting place in the future to have to navigate around people, user experience, and also AI, and the amount of training that we might have to go through in order to do that. It's just so interesting to be. I know I've said interesting so many times, but it is interesting.
It is.
It's fascinating.
Here we are, 2025. Yep. It's if you got into marketing because you wanted a slow, boring, stable category, you're in the wrong place.
Nope. I think I see AI as the equivalent of flying cars, like what people thought was going to happen. Nowadays, it like is very much this crazy phenomenon that I feel like people would be like, no way, if they heard about it so and so years ago. I think that's wonderful.
Feels like magic, but
It
it's
is.
not. It's math.
It's weird.
It's math, not magic. Let's all remain calm. It's a tool, and it's not even the first disruption in this generation. I mean, we saw the mobile social revolution. That changed a lot. That had big implications for like democracy. And prior to that, the internet, right? I mean, I remember when that was new. Like that, there's disruption like this regularly, and we should all we shouldn't be surprised that there's another new one. It's just the latest one.
Yeah, exactly. There's no need for fear in change. It's just something that will happen. Obviously, there is reason for fear for specific things that are ethical concerns with change, but I think that as long as we're learning and teaching ourselves as we are adjusting to this new environment and new technology, I think that those concerns will be soothed over time. Hopefully.
And this is very, so here's a message to everyone who's in marketing or sales or technology. If this is all alarming to you, and if anxiety levels are spiking right now, which there might be lots of inputs for that, then I'd suggest that it's actually a moment when we still have a lot of control over our place in this world and our relationship to this technology, because anxiety comes from sort of not having a plan or not feeling prepared. Each of us has the same access to these tools. Each of us has the same number of minutes in a day. You are in charge of your skill set. You can learn at the same pace, learn anything anyone else knows about AI. This is not, it's not special and specific to like engineers. A human with nothing more than spoken English can build fancy tools. I'm doing it. Anyone can do it. Test it out, try it, build an automation, or learn to iterate your prompts, or build a prompt library with your favorite tricks and string them together into a process and then combine those into a little tool. It sort of doesn't cost money to do these things. I mean, $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus. Take charge of your skill set, adapt, try something new, experiment a little bit every day. Get up early in the morning and experiment every day. That's what I do, and I've done it for 2 years, and it's really been a call, if nothing else, separate from my skills. It's kind of reduced my anxiety, because I'm like, okay, I got this. I can see where we're going, and I know where I'm going to be.
I think that was a beautifully wholesome note to end on, because we are over time. But truly, I think that was great advice, because I do think that a lot of people have a lot of fear about any kind of change, especially in technology, something that is rapidly changing at paces that I don't think we could even understand before. But I think that if you grew up when the internet was introduced, then you kind of know what this looks like a little bit. I think it maybe instills more fear in people that maybe don't know enough about it or didn't grow up, so like
unaccustomed to disruption.
It's everything's scary when it's a disruption. It's different, but I think that learning is part of that.
Control what you can. Focus on the things you can control, and just be prepared by upgrading your skills and experiment. Try something. See, I'm having fun with it. And of course I'm worried, but I'm worried more for some other people than for myself sometimes. But Shannon, this was really fun. This was a great conversation. And I feel like we went in all directions and it was good. We came back. I loved it.
I had a great time. I learned so much from this, and that's my favorite part, selfishly, of the podcast. I know the audience is supposed to learn from you and all that, and that's great. But if I get to learn something, that is my favorite part of the podcast. It's like going to school forever. It's awesome. But
thanks for having me on. This was
Thank you
awesome.
so much. Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening or watching. We'd be nothing without you. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope you got to learn as much from this episode as I did. Thank you so much, and have a good day.